guys, it's Salis, and I gotta ask the question, are season passes really a good idea? With the upcoming launch of the PC version of Rise of the Tomb Raider, and seeing that the so-called digital deluxe version is just the base game and the season pass, I got to thinking about the season pass as a concept, and realised, yes, it probably is a good idea for multiplayer games, but when it comes to single-player games, that's another matter. Allow me to explain. A season pass is designed so that companies can provide DLC to players who bought it as it is released. Fine, but this only seems to make sense for games with a strong multiplayer focus like shooters or fighting games. A perfect example would be the maps that are released for Call of Duty or the additional roster updates for games like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. But half the times, these were just bits cut from the game to make publishers more money, but that's a discussion for another day. But when it comes to single-player games, simply why? I know some have multiplayer modes crowbarred in, but do these devs really expect their shitty attempts at creating a competitive community to justify a season pass available from months before release? I don't think so. Furthermore, if, like in the case of Batman Arkham Knight for example, extra missions are considered DLC, this serves almost no purpose whatsoever. Because you know as well as I do, for every game that releases these as a single story or sort of a separate arc apart from the main game, there are 10 examples of games that shoehorned these missions into the middle of the main story, or worse, as side objectives you're probably going to ignore. And they are, after all, just a variant on the limited stock of side mission types that are available. So what are they expecting with this? My best guess is they expect that players' minds will be so blown by these games that we can't resist the urge to start over or replay the game all over again, which, as someone who owns the PC port of Arkham Knight, I can safely say is not the case. And may I add, since the DLC is often so spread out after release that the publisher has often released other games also with season passes, knowing full well the average gamer has already completed the meagre scraps we were allowed to play. Because let's face it, the gamer is a fickle beast, often moving from game to game to fill their insatiable lust for digital entertainment. All you're doing by buying a season pass is giving them money, and then the publisher sleeps perfectly safe and happy, safe in the knowledge that you probably won't bother with most of their chopped up games and you won't get a full experience. And they have your money, so fuck you! Now, is this just me, or does anyone remember the time when a game was released? And by that, I mean a whole game. And if a game was released with bugs up the arse to the point whereby it was unplayable, Arkham Knight, or with bits deliberately chopped out for later resale, that resulted in some motherfucker getting their ass fired. Obviously, I remember the first instance of this happening because I do own Sonic & Knuckles, but in defence of that incident, at least it was a game in itself, and it didn't require Sonic 3 in order to play it. So that's closer to being an expansion pack World of Warcraft style than it would be what would now be considered DLC. So, tell me in the comments below if any of you have ever played all the DLC ever released for a game without moving on to another one in the meantime. And also let me know what you think of your ideas of DLC season passes as single-player games. So, I don't know. So, thank you all so much for watching, and until our next discussion, I've been Salis. Season passes confuse the shit out of me, and I will see you next time.